All right, what's up, Battle Buddies? In our latest episode, we talked about strategy versus tactics, and in it, we started introducing this triangle that we're going to be referencing quite a bit. And I told you I'd start making some videos to kind of visually show what we're talking about here. We're talking about three kind of overall strategies, three overall tactics that we can use as launching points for most of our conversations, and those are aggro, control, and tempo. So let's start with aggro. Aggro is probably the most obvious, but there's things here that I would like to talk about. I'm going to use chess to explain it, but you don't need to know any chess to understand the things that I'm going to say. This is more philosophical. Chess is simply the visual tool. So aggressive, aggro. What is it? Let's reset this board here. Starting positions. All right. Being aggressive means, going out as fast as you can. Clausewitz and a lot of these other military tacticians from like the 18th century, 19th century, because of the way infantry worked, a lot of them talked about how if you're going to make a maneuver as like an infantry, as an army, you should do it early. And I think in games, we see this a lot in chess, like the idea of what we call a gambit, which means that you make an early play that's very aggressive to gain something and to hopefully win early. The classical downside of it is if your punch doesn't land, if you don't knock the other guy out, then you're hurting. Chess is a good way to explain this through gambits. And one thing I want you to remember is gambits and aggro strategies and tactics in military, there's also this romantic element to it that I think we overlook a lot. But it is romantic, right? The idea of like sweeping through and like doing these big, like over the top gestures. It's like classical, it's sport, right? Because like I'm so smart and I know you and I'm gonna do this thing early. So we can look at my favorite gambit, the one I learned first, one of the first like real strategies I learned in chess, which is the king's gambit. So I move my king's pawn, they move their king's pawn, and then I'm like, I hate you, and I move my pawn. Now, why this is aggressive, why this is a gambit, is that this pawn, this what is it, F7 pawn, F2 pawn, sorry, is very, very, very important to protecting your king because their queen can come right out and just check my king. That's dangerous, right? There's a lot of danger there. And, they can take my pawn right now. So, now I'm down a piece, but I don't care because I'm playing the king's gambit and I'm playing romantic. So now I bring out a knight. Okay. What does that matter? Well, now they can't just put their queen out or else I'll take it. So now I have a bunch of pieces out. I have two pieces on the board. They only have one piece on the board. I'm down a piece still, technically, but I'm romantic. I don't care. I'm going for like a sweeping gesture to end the game early. So what does black normally do here? Black usually like supports this guy probably. Feel like that's common. Is that Morphy's response? I don't know. I think Bobby Fischer talks about doing that move. Okay, so now that looks bad, but I don't care because I'm going for romantic endgame, so I probably put my bishop out. All right. That's cool. I don't know what they do in response to that. Maybe try to attack my knight. Oh no, they're trying to attack my knight, but I don't care. Oops. I tried to castle, it didn't work. Whoop. I don't care because I'm just trying to get pieces out. So even if they take, then I'll take back with my queen. And now, potentially, if black messes up right now, they're going to be hurting because they still only have one pawn out, whereas I have a pawn. I have a bishop that is pretty dangerous. It's on their weak pawn for their king, which is their f7 pawn. And I have my queen out now, who can just attack this pawn. It can put their king into check. I have a rook protecting my queen, which is awesome, means I can check and I cannot be as scared. And so now they have to be super, super careful. And that's aggressive, right? That's an aggro strategy. It's romantic. I'm not sure exactly what black does here. When I play it against my father-in-law, he usually starts going pretty safe, trying to stop me. Sometimes I've seen people do like that, try to slow me down. And the idea here is if black can slow me down, then me being down that one point, that one pawn, will come back and bite me, right? And having such an important pawn go away will really hurt me. If they can't slow me down, if you can't stop the blitzkrieg, then I'm going to take you out. And isn't that romantic, right? Take you out in one punch. In the Masters of Air, we talked about how they saw that as your moral obligation is to punch so hard on the first punch that you knock them out. So that's aggro, aggressive strategy. Comment, message us, tell us what you think.